you and I.
From a simple Google search, you basically just gotta scroll through all of the advertisements and you can get the Web Data Extractor. Basically Web Extractor. Once you click on the download area, you'll be able to get to uh, Web Data Extractor version 3, and this is where you're going to get the particular site. From the particular site, then you can open it up. Okay? We're going to use this in the evaluation mode. So go ahead and run through the install wizard, and you basically can select next all the way through. Okay? Once it's done, go ahead and click start, run through, and scroll to Web Data Extractor. In Web Data Extractor, when you click it and open it, it's a pretty basic program. So go ahead and maximize it. And we're going to go specify a URL. You can just click start to open up the dialog. But go ahead and do it with www.cybrary.it or whatever destination you would like. Keep in mind that black hats do whatever they want. Gray hats only do this basically if they're hired to do it. And then white hats do this with inside of a company. So there's three calibers of people, because basically I should just shown you how anybody could get to this point with no authorization realistically required. Okay, so go ahead and select your starting URL. And before you, if you notice, if you just select the site, directory and groups, and you just click on OK, it's going to say, please specify data to extract in this session setting. Okay, in this case, we're going to have to tell it what we want, and we can do that right down here in the bottom right. We can extract emails, phone numbers, faxes. I would also get the meta tags as well. Extract the body of the site. If you want details, this will produce verbose results, so we're gonna leave that off at this point because it's just too much code realistically for a basic search. But if you want to extract the URL, you can do it as the base URL, the for URL, or the full or non-HTML URL. It just depends on realistically the different formatting that you want. You can also tell it, certain depths to retrieve and the number of pages. Okay. So if you go ahead and click on OK, you can see what a basic search would look like. Now I'm going to do a basic search just for presentation here, but I'll show you in a second how we can get to all the advanced stuff. Okay, so we can start scrolling through. So if you click on new settings, you'll get to a different part of the sessions. Okay, this is how you open up a separate uh, mo- dialog box. This is how you open up a separate. This is how you open a separate dialog box for your destination. So we're going to do www.leodrager.com, and we're going to select on extract emails, phones, and faxes. We're going to get meta tag information. We're going to extract the site body and any sort of URL. If you want, you can actually choose the how much you actually want in your search results. If you want just the URL or wrapped in, the complete bracket, HTTP colon forward slash, the full thing. So you have different features there. But you can basically just run a basic report. So we'll go ahead and give that a second to run. So if you click on start, then you get to, you'll see a whole bunch of things basically flooding through your buffers. In this case, you can start evaluating that. You saw some video appearances, look like some information about WordPress, biographies. You can just see the different results. So it's gonna index is well, the websites we told it to index in this case by default. And it's just gonna run, and I would just, this is the time where you go get a cup of coffee. So we'll let this finish. So while it's searching, if you selected meta tags, you can basically just kind of read these like a little tiny book, okay? And they'll go through, and it kind of tells a story. So in this case, for me specifically, there's a lot of skills, social networking, testimonials, videos, comments, public speaking, and things of the nature. Also, you can correlate the title of the information to the actual URL, and sometimes cross-referencing gives you another insight. So if you see something on, testimonial here, and it's actually linked to video down here, in that case you would link it as a video testimonial versus a written testimonial, maybe not linked somewhere else. If you go through, you can see what emails that it finds. Apparently, you didn't find any. If you look at phones, you can go to the URLs and get a complete diagnostic on URLs. In terms of the history, you can scroll down here. These would be all the ones that it found specifically for Leo Drager in .com. Any inactive sites. So if I want to do phones, then you can run through the phones. So it says here you can resume or restart current session. If you wish to restart the session, all found data will be cleared. So in this case, we're gonna resume the connection. We gotta wait for it to finish. And it's only picked up a handful of meta tags and URLs at this time. and you just keep cycling through these tabs until it populates with the information that you need. Otherwise, you can do if you forget where you're at, you can click on the session information and see, hey, that's your target. Sometimes you let this program run and you come back to it an hour later and, hey, what was that again? So that's maybe helpful. Root data folder, where do you want to put the information that you're downloading, and then you can edit the session, and in this case I'm just going to clear the current session and go back to the details. Okay, what you can do is you can select search engines. Okay, if you want to add those in, this is where you would do it. You've got the site directory groups. This changes mostly just this section here when it goes through the different tabs. And offsite links. Now this spider can be helpful at times, but it's realistically you got to be really, really digging for information if you're going to use spiders, because spiders are basically just crawl the end of the internet till it runs out of things to find, or it times out, or it just things stop responding to it, or you tell it to stop. So you always want to be careful in these sort of spider settings. You can filter certain content. This is helpful in itself because let's say you guys obviously know I do videos. So let's say if you wanted to download a video, you could just look, download right here, the file type that you want and try to filter the results. Otherwise, if you know specific text, again, you could produce thousands and thousands of pieces of information, and if you want to start using, and or logic here, you may want to filter the data that way. These are definitely advanced settings at this point. The basic person here is just interested in getting an idea what the tool does. The intermediate person is interested in kind of collecting information, and then the advanced person is actually, filtering and sorting and, parsing data and types, and, whether they're looking for a specific, I want facsimile in with a capital F versus not a capital F. I mean, you can get down to the nitty gritty in terms of what types of information these types of programs will spider for. Also, I always check out the connections, because this gives you, how many simultaneous threads. So in terms of performance, this is a great setting to kind of back off. If you go at things too aggressively, you tend to get blocked and stopped. But if you just go at a nice, easy, slow pace, then it takes longer, but you can typically not upset certain types of detection systems, honeypots, and things of the matter. Also, if you have any sort of login authentication, this is where you would put it. That's basically for the use of the proxy. And that's the session information. Otherwise, that's it. That's basic digging, as I would call it, digging for information on any sort of target.
It's you.